Hello world, Dano here, stacking paper as always, and today we are doing a review of Dying Inside by Robert Silverberg. Now that doesn't sound like a very appealing book to a lot of people, and the book is fucking depressing, don't get me wrong. But honestly, there's something quite moving about this book. It's very supernatural and hyper mundane at the same time, but like it's so seamlessly done that you don't even realize you're reading science fiction. So basic premise, and although I'm gonna have some spoilers in here, but honestly there's not much to spoil because there isn't really a plot. This is weird. This is like the second, third book in a row now that I've read that literally doesn't have a plot, but I actually like anyway. Anyways, digressing. The premise of this novel is there's this guy that is a telepath. He's a one-way telepath, so he can read people's minds, but he can't talk to people's minds. He can just see what they're thinking. And it takes place the present day. He's in his early 40s, and he's losing his power. Like his power's been waning for the last few years, and it's like every day it's like it gets closer and closer to being gone completely. And it's basically him just flashbacking to different points of his life. The story is super non-linear. Like there's a present day section, but as the story goes along, he keeps flashing back to moments in his life and how having this power has affected every relationship he's ever had and the decisions he's made and the regrets that he has. He's a very self-pitying bastard, this guy. David Selig is the name. He feels so bad for himself because he's just really accomplished nothing in his life, even though he has this extraordinary power. And it's just like, it's so relatable because not even, like, even as a regular human, everyone has these regrets. We have these moments that we think about in our past and we're like, wow, like this is what I should have done, but I can't get that time back. That's what this novel is, and he's a very sad character, but you learn a lot about the human experience through him. Like a lot of themes of like isolation, self pity. There's a lot of weird father, daughter, brother, sister dynamics that are very strange and kind of like borderline incestuous in ways, but beyond the weirdness, it's just so poignant. I will say this book is extremely sexually graphic, so definitely rated R. Like ridiculous sex scenes, especially when you get into him using the power while, he's shaboinging, and holy crap, it's wild. But I don't know, there's just so much about this book that like I'm still thinking about, even though like it's so mundane. It's really just like a life drama. The supernatural mind reading element is like it honestly feels normal once you're into the book. It almost is like it kind of just fades into the background. Even though he's still doing it, you just take it for granted, and you're actually more interested in just like his interpersonal relationships. The power just helps facilitate that. It shows how he really is just like the worst person to have this kind of power, because he does meet another person who has the same power as him, but this other person is like just a total Chad, super self-assured, gets mad bitches. So does David, and that's the thing. Man. Anyways, so this other guy, Tom Nyquist, this character, he's really actually kind of a scumbag, but he's honest with himself. He uses his power for gain. So does David, but Tom Nyquist is more dispassionate with it. He's just like, you know what, man? Like, this is the gift that God gave you. Just use it and stop like being a little bitch about it. Like he doesn't call him a little bitch in so many words, but he essentially tells him, like, because he can read his mind too, obviously, and David talks about when he's reading minds, he can get past those upper layers and get to like the real depth of a person, to like their soul essentially. And when Tom starts reading David for the first time, he says to him like, dude, why do you feel so bad for yourself? Like, you have an amazing power. Like, why are you being such a pussy? And, you know, David's like, well, easy for you to say. And he's like, yeah, well, it is. I have the same issues as you. Don't think that my life has been so fucking easy. But, like, I understand that I have a super unique gift. And hell yeah, I'm going to use it to my advantage. And then, man, when he gets into his own personal, like, relationships with women, like his previous girlfriends, oh man, like that's where it just starts getting so like there's some gut-wrenching stuff in here, especially near the end with him talking about his last relationship. I actually don't even want to like go into that much spoilers. I'd rather just kind of vaguely talk about it, because it's more just the themes of this book are just, they're just sticking with me. Even though, again, there is next to no plot. Not even next to no, there isn't a plot. It's just a story of this guy's life told through his flashbacks. And I think what makes this book work, it's just the prose. Silverberg is a really good author. And I've only read one other thing of his, a short story called Flies, which is harrowing, absolutely horrifying, but amazing. Super, super high recommendation on that. But yeah, his prose is just so like biting. It's so grounded. It's not very flowery or poetic, but like it's clever in its own really subtle way. He kind of makes up his own words, but they make sense within the context of what he's talking about. And yeah, he really knows how to make it flow and make you feel like you're really in these characters' heads. Like, the dialogue is just so real. Like, the book just doesn't, it feels like this could be the story of someone's real life. Like, it became like so believable at a point. Yeah, I can see why people consider this like his opus. I have a couple other Silverbergs that I'm definitely going to read. The World Inside for sure. But yeah, this is a solid, like, I was going to give it an 8, but I actually do think it's an 8.5. The only thing that's missing really is just like, I am a super plot driven reader. I like intricate, deep plots. And as much as I do love character development too, that is like a big thing for me, but like without like a really gripping plot, it usually is hard for me to like stay with a novel. This is an exception, but I just think that with this kind of prose, if you gave it like a more science fiction-y plot, like I'm hoping The World Inside is like that, I think this, like, Silverberg will just be like one of my favorites. But this book is, I think it's a good book for people who aren't particularly into science fiction, because it's just a life drama. It just happens to have a guy that, you know, is a telepath, but that's really it. Like, it's solid, honestly, so solid. I'm really impressed with it. It lived up to my expectations while not doing what I thought it was going to do at all. So that's huge. So next, it's like, fuck, and now I'm kind of dreading. I'm going to read The King of Swords next, because I've just been putting it off. Man, I'm kind of like dreading reading Moorcock again now, because holy fuck, his prose is just so boring. Like, it's so plain. And reading these other books, like reading Hitchhiker's Guide and this, has just made me realize how much extra I don't like Moorcock's prose now. But it's okay. I'm going to push through it. I'm going to hope for some epic moments. And then after that, I could get into some chunkers. I'm thinking Will of the Many. Definitely Stormlight Archive, because I need to fucking finish those. But yeah, until next time. Peace.